business. Is there any public comments? Hearing none, we can move on to the approval of the minutes, the January 13th.
Rob, excuse me, if I can interrupt you, I think Brandy wanted to go down and kind of do a roll call so we have a record of everybody that's here.
Sounds good.
So what's the easiest way to do that, Brandy? You want me to go down and list everyone?
Can I just read off my list?
Really? Yep, go ahead.
Okay, Rob.
Yep, present.
Tom.
We're here.
Alan.
Here.
Jim Walliser.
Here. Here. Here.
Matt.
You need to get the pups there.
Mike Messina.
I'm here.
And we do not have any associate directors tonight. If they are here, can you please speak up? Okay, so we have Jim, Brandy, Mike, Dan, Allison, Julie. How about Justin?
No, Justin's not attending tonight.
Okay, and Amanda Coleman is on the line.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you. Tim Cole?
Yes.
Thank you. Jackie is not, I believe. Jackie Kerstetter. Steve Putt? Anybody else? Okay, good, Rob, we're good.
I see Steve Dersham there. I don't know if he's on the line right now or not.
I called for him. He said yes.
I am.
Okay. Sorry, Steve, didn't hear you. Okay.
Thank you.
Ready to roll, Brandy? Okay. So welcome, everybody. I guess we can move on to item 3 of the agenda, which is the approval of the January 13th minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Corrections or additions to the minutes, January minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the January minutes, say aye.
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 Any nays? Okay, the ayes have it. Next item is the payment of the bills and the treasurer's report. Brandy.
Okay, so the report goes from January 1st, 2021 to January 31st of 2021. Operating expenses totaled $24,797.14. The operating account income revenue totaled $9,113.81. And the operating expense account balance as of January 31st is $510,941.73.
Okay, is there a motion to pay the bills and file the treasurer's report for audit?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion from Steve, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a second. Any discussion, additions, corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Any nays? Hearing none, the ayes have it. We can move on to any correspondence, Jim.
Yeah, just one item tonight. We received a letter from Carl Brown at the State Conservation Commission. He is letting us know that the commission adopted a policy governing the use of drones by county conservation districts, effective immediately. So I know that's been under discussion for some time, but the policy has been approved. There's a copy of the policy here as well. I'm not going to read that, but I just want to let you know the correspondence was sent indicating that that's been approved.
I think there is a copy of the policy in the back of the the minutes agenda that we have for this month. Maybe Jackie.
I saw that. That's actually still a draft version, Rob. The copy I got has a later date on it. So it's probably very similar to that, but I didn't compare them to know for sure.
That is a draft that Jackie did send me, and I just put that in there with her report.
Okay, thanks. Anything else, Jim? Correspondence?
Nope, that's it for correspondence.
Okay, any staff presentations this month?
We don't have a staff presentation this month.
All right, moving right along to old business, the first of which is the watershed implementation plan update.
Yep, I think there's a informational sheet in your packet. Allison was going to give us a brief update on the WIP.
Hi, everyone. The WIP cap, the countywide action plan was finalized and sent to DEP, although it is a living document. And we are continuing to engage with several stakeholders, particularly township managers and township engineers, and to continue incorporating some of their comments into the CAP plan and identifying potential projects for BMP implementation moving forward in the implementation scope of the CAP. From the agriculture sector, we have reached out to approximately 12 farmers thus far, moving forward with implementation, just asking them if they'd be interested to meet with us so we can correctly capture any BMPs that they have implemented either on their own dollar or with cost share, so that we can document those towards CAP reduction goals. We did co-present the plan, myself and Aaron Latavik from HRG to the Pennsylvania State Conference that was on January 26th, I believe. And that conference had all of the tiered counties, including the tier 3 counties who are now writing their CAP as well. And everyone was very excited and happy with the progress that Center County's CAP has been taking, and we're excited to move forward with implementation.
Thanks, Brandy. Any questions for Brandy about the WIP or the countywide action plan? Or for Ally, sorry. Hearing none, we can move on to item B. Thanks, Ally. The seedling sale.
Yep, I think Brandy's been heading.
Are you ready for me?
Go ahead, Brandy. I think Jim froze.
Okay, I didn't know what was going on. Okay, so the seedling sale brochure was completed and was sent out. I'm not sure if anybody received it. I received mine today in the mail. So the printer's mailed out on Monday of this week. Orders are due by March 26th. Pickup is scheduled for Friday, April 23rd, 3 to 5 on Friday, and April 24th, 9 to 11. The pickup location will be the Center Hall Lions Club, which is a change from years past, just due to the COVID restrictions at the Grange Fair. The pickup will be a no contact pickup. Customers will remain in their car. We ask that people wear masks. That's about it. Does anybody have any questions about the seedling sale?
Questions for Brandy?
This will be my first one as a director, I believe. So I was wondering who works the sale?
All the staff is generally involved in that, Mike. We early in the week, we gather the orders, bundle them into each individual order. And then on Friday and Saturday, we have those pickup times. So very different staff members fill all those roles. So we rotate among the staff.
Okay, thanks. I was just wondering.
Do you take director volunteers?
You know, we do. And I know at one time in the past, we did have directors that helped us package. So yeah, if anyone's interested, you know, we can certainly use the help.
Okay.
we'll-
And that's
we'll-
Friday.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I was asking. Since I'm retired, I'm deemed non-essential. And so I was saying maybe if you needed some help, I might be able to help.
Okay, very good. We'll keep that in mind moving forward, Mike. Thank you.
And you mentioned that's April 23rd, Friday from 3 to 5, is that right? And Saturday, the 24th,
From 9 to 11.
9 to
Yes.
11?
April
Okay.
23rd, 3 to 5, and April 24th is a Saturday from 9 to 11. And we usually package earlier in that week. Probably Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll be packaging.
And are you doing the packaging at that facility in Center Hall as well, or?
We are.
Okay, just curious. Okay, other questions about the seedling sale? Okay, hearing none, we can move on to the social media accounts, which I think is probably going to be Ally again.
Yep, correct. We discussed that last month and received Commissioner's Office approval, and both those accounts have since gone live. So Ally, I'll let you go ahead and give an update there.
We're really excited. Both, we now have a Facebook and an Instagram account. And for those who are on line tonight, I'm going to share my screen really quickly, just to show what the Facebook page looks like. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Great. So this is the Center County Conservation District Facebook page. We are at Center CCD on Facebook and at Center County CD on Instagram. We've already have several conservation districts like our page and follow our page. So really excited to see kind of the engagement already moving forward, even though it's only been live for a few days. And we were able to incorporate all of the safety features that we discussed in the Commissioner's Office asked of our social media accounts, which is great. And we already have 2 posts. So one is the seedling sale, and you can see it's right to our website, right to the brochure. So if anyone was not on the mailing list, or if they lose the mailing that they received, they can download it here. And we also have a just welcome us kind of a little shareable post. So really excited and happy to share any content that is related to our projects.
Neat. Thanks, Ally. Questions for Ally about the Facebook or Instagram account? I guess I'll have to get an Instagram account. So far, I've held off.
I did follow Tammy.
Okay. Yeah, hearing no questions for Ally, we can move on to the next item, which is the statement of financial interest forms.
Yep, this is just a reminder. The forms were sent out with the January packets. Each director and all the staff members are required to fill these out. We got some of them back. We're still waiting for others. So this is just a reminder to get that in to the office when you can.
Okay, and the next item then would be the stormwater fee ordinance from Ferguson Township.
Yep, that's another item that was brought up at the January meeting. The reason it was brought up at that point was I was contacted by a farmer in Ferguson Township, and he brought to my attention the fact that the ordinance does reference our agency. And I looked into that a little bit and we discussed it. In preparing for the meeting tonight, I've noticed things have changed since then. So just real briefly, the mention of the conservation district was in what Ferguson is calling their credit manual. So they have a manual that allows people to reduce the fees that they pay under this new ordinance. And in the new version of this, which came out, I guess this is still a draft, but this newest version came out in early February. The conservation district is still mentioned, and it's in the section dealing with credits that landowners can get. And it's under manure, pesticide, nutrient management, and E&S controls. And the paragraph just says, to be eligible for this credit, ag properties must have current plans in place as applicable for manure, pesticide, nutrient, and/or erosion control management as required by the Center County Conservation District. Property owner to provide evidence of appropriate approved plans with the credit application. So I'm not sure that statement is even, 100% technically correct, and it's a little, it seems to me a little bit more vague than the previous version was. So. Oh, and one other item, I also found on their website a new policy that they title Ag Properties Exemption Policy. I don't think that was included previously. If I read this correctly, it's establishing a maximum impervious area that an agricultural property could be assessed. Our agency isn't specifically mentioned in that portion, so.
Okay, is that it for the stormwater fee, Jim?
That's the new things that I've become aware of since the last meeting, Rob. Again, I don't know that we necessarily need to take action, but it's more, for informational purposes at this point, I guess.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jim. Any other old business?
No, that's it for old business.
Okay, then moving on to new business. The first of which is a letter of support request for the Juniata Watershed Management Plan update.
Yes.
No.
We were contacted late last year by the Western Pennsylvania Conservancy. Justin and myself attended an initial meeting, and they indicated that the Juniata River, how are they referring to it? The Juniata Watershed Management Plan is in existence, but was originally approved back in 2000. So they are in the process of revising that plan, and they're looking for support from the municipalities in that watershed and also from the conservation district. So they're actively engaging all the municipalities to try to get their support, and they're also asking for conservation district support. They're asking for a letter of support, and they sent us a sample. So if I can kind of read the middle paragraph, it sort of explains what's going on. It says, the Juniata Watershed Management Plan was originally developed in 2000 to help improve the overall quality of life and health of our community and those around us. That plan not only considered the water quality issues of the area, but also the economical, biological, recreational, historical, and land use features of the region. Now, 21 years later, many new and emerging issues are affecting our region. And this updated plan will help us to address those concerns while also taking stock of what has been done to implement recommendations of the original plan. We also endorse the placement of the updated Juniata Watershed Plan on the Pennsylvania Rivers Registry upon completion of the updates, which will allow additional funding opportunities for the implementation of recommendations as indicated in the updated plan. We should probably point out there is only a relatively small portion of Center County in the Juniata River watershed. Much of Center County flows to the West Branch Susquehanna, but there is portions of the county in the southwest corner that drain to the Juniata River.
So is that it, Jim?
Yes, and the paragraph I read is essentially the approval letter they're asking us to send.
Okay, at this time, we'll entertain a motion to provide a letter of support for the update of the Juniata Watershed Plan.
So move.
Okay, we have a motion. And is there a second?
I'll second that.
This is Alan, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any nays? Okay, the ayes have it. Thanks, Jim. And the other item of new business is the revision to the open file policy.
Yep. I think a copy of our policy is attached in your packet. This was created a number of years ago, and things have changed since then. So I just wanted to bring this to the director's attention and possibly look into making some updates there. The current policy establishes a procedure if someone from the public comes into the office and wants to view one of our files and get copies of those documents. It essentially charges 25 cents per page. What kind of brought this issue up for me is as we enter the digital age, we're now getting folks asking about, having those documents scanned rather than photocopied. So I thought we might want to look at that and maybe update some things. So I don't know that we need to go into the nuts and bolts of it tonight, but maybe we could, have a small group of staff and any directors that might be interested, look into this and make some recommendations to revise.
To me, that sounds good, Jim. I mean, yeah, things have changed since we've been in the digital age, but still providing that kind of information takes staff time and money. So maybe revising that, I'd recommend maybe a small group of the staff maybe look at the current policy and think about, the types of documents that people would, might request and how much time it would take to accommodate them. And maybe come up with a revision to that.
Yep, and just for context, Rob, it seems to most commonly be our E&S and our NPDES permit files that folks come in and look at and want copied. And it doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen on occasion, so. Right,
and keep in mind that, the fact you're moving into, e-permitting and what the ramifications there are there.
Actually, during our training for e-permitting, they did mention that, and a permit submitted in that system, I think the public has access to anything that's submitted. So that'll actually make this easier at that point.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yep.
Any
Okay.
other
Well,
comments?
Nope. I guess we'll look into that and maybe bring a recommendation at a later meeting then.
Okay. Comments from other directors or staff? Okay. Any other new business, Jim?
Yes, there's two other items. The first is a request from the Western Pennsylvania Coalition for Abandoned Mine Reclamation. This is something we normally address at our January meeting, but this particular document didn't come in time. They are asking us to pay our annual dues, which are $100.
Oh, Jim froze again.
The watershed specialist, the board chairman, and a delegate and an alternate for the organization.
So Jim, you froze up a little bit there. So the last part where they're asking about the delegates?
Yes, they're asking for the manager, the watershed specialist on the staff, the Conservation District Board chairman, and then a delegate and an alternate delegate.
Okay, and those delegates can be the same individuals.
They don't indicate if it has to be a director or if it can be a staff member. And I didn't get a chance to follow up on that, Rob. I intended to before the meeting, but didn't get a chance.
Okay. Well, we can leave that to your discretion, but for now, let's entertain the idea of paying the $100 annual dues, which I guess we've been paying for years.
That's my understanding.
Yeah. So at this point, we'll entertain a motion to pay the annual whip camera dues of $100.
So move.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second.
This is Messina.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? Okay, all those in favor of approving those dues, say aye.
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 Any nays? I'll take that. That bark is not a nay, so I think the ayes have it. Yeah, and Jim, we'll leave it to your discretion in terms of the alternate and those individuals that need to be appointed.
Yeah, let me, I intended to contact the folks there and I didn't get a chance. So let me do that and I'll figure that out. Thanks.
Okay, and you said there's another item of new business.
Yes, the last item I have, under our dirt, gravel, and low volume road maintenance program. That program requires the board to appoint a quality assurance board, which is made up of a representative of NRCS, the Fish Commission, and the Conservation District itself. And then they also appoint a non-voting chairperson, which is traditionally the district manager. I assume the board at some point in the past appointed Bob Schweitzer when he was manager to that role. And I thought it might be a good idea to, since Bob has retired and I've moved into the manager's position, perhaps they would want to consider reappointing myself in that role to make that official.
And Martin is already our Conservation District rep on that.
Correct. Martin is the voting Conservation District representative as an associate director. Correct.
Okay. So we'll entertain a motion to formally appoint Jim as the in the district manager role of the Quality Assurance Board for the Dirt and Gravel Road Program.
So moved. Dersham.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any nays? Okay, the ayes have it. It's yours. It's yours, Jim.
Okay.
Okay, no other items of new business then?
That's all for new business. Thank you.
Okay, we can move on to staff reports. Who wants to go first? Looking around at names. Mike, you want to go first?
Sure. I really don't have anything to add to my written report. If there's any questions, I can take them now.
Any questions for Mike? Hearing none. Chris, you want to go next?
Yes, I do have one update on my report, and that is the spring 2021 dirt and gravel and low volume road grant round. We'll be sending out the announcement that it's open probably here within the next week. We generally give them about 2 months to work through work plans and such. So maybe they'll be due sometime mid-April.
Hey, any questions for Chris? Okay, hearing none. Dan, you're next. On in the packet, you want to go next?
Sure. Yeah, so I don't have anything additional to report either. I've just been continuing to do trainings and get out in the field with Mike, Chris, and Jim, and continuing to learn. And hopefully I will become useful soon. So that's all from me.
Okay, any questions for Dan? Okay, thanks, Dan. Next on the list is Dana, but Dana's not with us tonight, as far as I can tell. So Ally, you're next.
I have some exciting news that we just heard about today, and we were selected for a PACD grant that I had submitted in January, and we were offered $1,200 for 2 workshop series that we had collaborated on with Dana and Chris, and it's titled "We All Live Downstream: Water Quality Initiatives for Homeowners." Would it be all right if I read the short snippet that is attached with it?
Sure.
Great, thank you. So here's what is officially listed on the PACD website. They have not put out an official statement on it yet, but it was released to all the partners today who was selected. And here is our workshop synopsis. Conservation staff will hold an informal virtual workshop series focused on educating homeowners on local water quality issues, the countywide action plan's goals for both agriculture and residential sectors, and how to develop a plan and incorporate diverse BMPs on their property to manage stormwater runoff. The goal of these workshops will be to reduce non-point source pollution on a residential property scale through BMP installation. Soil test kits will be provided for all homeowners who attend both sessions and submit a program evaluation. Rain barrels will be raffled off to those who attend both sessions and return the program evaluation to provide tangible next steps in reducing their property's stormwater footprint.
Great. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I would add the exciting thing about this grant is it's targeting homeowners, and that's a group we've traditionally not focused our efforts on. So I think that it's a good opportunity here.
Great. Anything else, Ally?
Nope, that's everything.
Okay. Let's see. Looking around at who's left here. Randy, you have anything to report?
Just that the 2020 audit is kind of underway. So we starting to work on that. The auditors have all the information that they so far requested. This is going to be a little bit different as well for me this year because they usually come into the office and do some in-person checking. So we'll do what we can. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Okay, questions for Brandy? Hearing none. Julie, anything to report?
There I go. Nothing to report other than the poster contest is coming up again. It's the annual poster contest that we submit to PACD that gets forwarded on to NACD at the end of the year. Deadline to submit it to PACD is June 30th. I'm going to try and get everything out in the next newsletter. I want to advertise on our new social media pages. Thank you, Ally. That makes me so happy that I can reach out to these people. I think I'm going over everything right now. The theme here seems to be healthy forests, healthy communities. We're going to try to keep it the same. It's open to children from kindergarten to 12th grade. Last year and years before, we just did kindergarten to 6th grade, and we seem to have a pretty good turnout for that. So we'll just continue that, continue the same fees because we did increase them last year for the prize. I was looking for the paper to see what I had written down for the fees that we paid last year. The only thing I'm looking at is submission to state international is submitted digital. It is our discretion if we want it digital or if we want a hard copy. So that is one of the things. Last year, I think we would have had more people submit if we would have accepted hard copy. So I'd like to look into this a little bit more, see how other districts are handling it, and maybe put it out on the table that they can either submit either or. Get some more kids active and get involved, especially now that we have the social media page. There are so many things that we can put on there for the teachers, right down to bookmarkers, placemat, table mats. They even have stuff that you can give to the local churches for Sunday school that they can use. So I'm very impressed. I'm kind of happy it's about forestry. That's kind of near and dear to my heart. But I'm going to look more into it, and I may have some a slideshow for you guys for next month, if that's okay.
Sounds good. Great. Any questions for Julie? Okay, I guess hearing none, we can move on to Jim, your report.
Yep, very good. Over the past month, one of the big things we've been dealing with is the Chapter 102 e-permitting. We've been talking about it for a long time. It was put off a couple different times. We've been sitting through trainings over the last month. It was finally launched on January 25th. It went live. It's been kind of anticlimactic. It's out there, but we have not had any activity in that system yet. And I was on a meeting a few days ago, and my understanding was statewide, they have yet to receive a permit application in that system. So I suspect it's going to take some time for the folks that normally submit those to kind of get into that system, so to speak. So we'll keep you informed as that develops, but it's out there, but we haven't seen any activity yet. The commissioner's office has extended our heightened COVID restrictions. So that is all continuing as it has been over the past several months. Things have been going reasonably well. We've been dealing with that as best we can. Just a couple other things. Justin was not able to attend the meeting tonight, but he does have some news concerning the Envirothon. He wanted me to mention that there will be a statewide Zoom meeting for the State Envirothon on February 17th at 2 p.m. that he plans to attend. We are planning a cooperating agency coordinators meeting as we normally do, but it will be held on the computer this year. It's going to be February 24th at 10 a.m. Again, as we traditionally do, there will be a joint Center and Clinton County Study Day, again, held virtually on the computer on March 3rd. Our event, as we had previously discussed and decided, will be held virtually in April. Our tentative date is April 14th. So far, we have commitments from CPI, Penns Valley, and 2 teams from Bald Eagle area that have committed to participate in the virtual event. And we'll probably have additional updates after the meetings here later this month. And that's it, unless there's any questions.
Questions for Jim? Okay, hearing none, we can move on to the cooperating agency reports. Tim Cole, your name
Hello,
jumps
everyone.
out.
Oh, thank you, Rob. I don't know if it's snowing where you are, but it's snowing where I am. So we have about 12 inches of snow on the ground now. I guess the big news is we're going to close, DCNR is going to close on the Dry Hollow Hunt Club on Friday. Clearwater Conservancy is basically our pass-through for those property acquisitions. And it's about 1,271 acres, and it's on the county line between Huntingdon and Center County. It's in Ferguson and Half Moon Townships. So Rothrock State Forest, as of Friday, will be close, if not a little bit over 100,000 acres.
Yes, excuse me, Tim, for interrupting. I think the board had sent out a letter of support for that acquisition somewhere along the line there, so.
Great, yeah, we're in the process now. We're probably going to do some extensive inventory. There is a lodge there. I guess Clearwater Conservancy is going to upgrade that, or no, yeah, Clearwater Conservancy is going to update the lodge. So then they'll have that as a resource, probably for outreach programs and that sort of thing. Speaking of outreach programs, I'm working with Allie through the Chesapeake Conservancy and the Beaver Branch and the Elk Creek landowner outreach for the riparian buffer restorations, agricultural improvements, that sort of thing. I'm probably aware of that, Jim. So there's probably going to be about, between those two, at least 50 properties. So hopefully we can get some good things accomplished.
Well, Tim, what was the total acreage that you're adding with this?
1,271 acres. So that should make us a little bit over 100,000 acres total. We had our winter meeting, and the DCNR budget basically is going to be slightly lower, but it's not going to be much different than it was before. So that's good news for DCNR. I've not heard yet about our COVID restriction, whether that's going to be extended to March 15th. It probably will be. I don't see any indications that we'll be out working with landowners or cooperating agencies anytime in the near future. It's probably going to last through April 15th at a minimum. Working with Justin again, as you mentioned, Jim, on the 24th with the cooperating agency meeting with the Envirothon. So that'll be interesting to do something virtually with that. We still have issues with our forestry roads. Martin Melville is actually about 200 yards from where I basically live at the headquarters, in a little bit of a salvage operation. So he can attest to the icy conditions on our roads. Within the mile, our roads, probably within a mile of the headquarters here, we've had at least 12 cars off the bank. And the latest was Friday night about 11:30 midnight. And they had to have a recovery. So no one was hurt, but again, the roads are absolutely miserable. So if you don't have to travel on our forestry roads, don't until probably May. And our seasonals are coming back on the 13th of March. And I believe that's all I have if there's no questions.
It's for Tim. Hearing none. Amanda, you're up next.
Hello, my name's Amanda Coleman. I am acting for Scott Heckman as a supervisory district conservationist in Center County and Clinton County in Mill Hall. Scott has taken a position with the Harrisburg office as the, I'll see if I can say this right, the program manager, the assistant state program manager. So I began acting on Monday, so I'd like to thank everybody for allowing me to be here tonight. I just have a few updates. I'm still playing catch up. I just began my duties actually formally on Monday, but we are in the middle of our EQIP and AMA rankings right now. The obligations for those fiscal year 2021 contracts will be April 2nd of this year. The Northeast has been given AMA money. Traditionally, we get a very limited amount of AMA money, and we are targeting high tunnels and irrigation projects with that money. And I believe we have 2 or 3 applications in Center County right now for high tunnels. So we have them targeted through AMA. Let's just look at my sheet here for a second. All of our agencies are currently open for business. However, we are still on maximum telework, and only one person to maybe 2 max in the office at a time, full masking, and no customers are allowed in our office right now. And we have no deadlines for when that will end. They are following the scientific dashboard that they're using, NRCS is using for that. So whatever the dashboard says, we can begin our phasing of opening up, we will. But there is no timeline for that. Let's see. I believe that's all I have. One last thing, I'm sure you guys are aware, but our Pennsylvania Conservation Boot Camp deadline for signups is February 12th, if you know of anybody that's interested in that. And that's all I have for tonight.
Questions for Amanda?
Amanda, this is Tim. Just a
Hi,
quick
Tim.
question. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but and you can let me know in sometime in the near future about the ranking for Center County with equip projects, just so I know what's coming down the pike.
Yes, we are actually going to be working on them next week. So I will let you know. Not 100% sure who, I'll let you know as soon as we know who's going to be selected, but we're going to be starting the ranking process next week for forestry. So I'll definitely keep you in the loop.
Thank you.
Other questions for Amanda? Thanks, Amanda, and welcome
Thank you.
aboard.
Thank you.
Glad to have you aboard.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't want to leave anybody out. I think I've covered everyone. So with that unless there's anything else for the good of the group, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, thanks, everybody. It was good seeing you. And we'll get back together in March, second Wednesday. Thanks.
Thank you.
Safe.
Be safe.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Okay.